The Women in AI Summit is on September 8th. I'm the founder of an AI and culture tech startup, and I'll be there.
I'm an AI scientist and educator. I'll be there.
Women in AI South Africa and the rest of Africa, I want to see you at our global Women in AI Summit happening on the 8th of September.
Ich bin Menschenrechtsaktivistin und ich werde dabei sein.
I'm a human-centric AI designer and I'll be there.
Women in AI 线上全球大会就在9月8号，我会参加。
I'm an entrepreneur in residence at Next AI Montreal and I'll be there.
Dołącz do tysięcy profesjonalistek AI z całego świata. Tym razem będą tam również Polki.
Soy entusiasta en inteligencia artificial y ahí estaré.
Moi, je suis entrepreneur dans la tech et je serai là.
Ich freue mich, euch mitzuteilen, dass am 8. September der Global WAI Summit, der Global Women in AI Summit stattfindet, virtuell auf allen möglichen Kontinenten. Und ich bin natürlich dabei und ich freue mich, wenn ihr euch anmeldet.
I'm a software engineer and I am going to be there.
I'm as a machinery engineer. Will be there.
Ich bin Sheila, ich bin Software Engineer und ich möchte dort sein.
I'm a data scientist and I'll be there.
I am a technical consultant and I will be there.
私は日本のアンバサダー、ハッピーコムの戸田です。
I'm a passionate AI advocate, physician, and educator. I will be there.
I'm an AI startup CEO and I'll be there.
Women in AI máa wáyé nínú oṣù kẹsàn-án ọjọ́ kẹjọ nínú ọdún tá a wà yìí. Èmi jẹ́ olùkọ́ àgbà nínú ẹ̀rọ ìmọ̀ kọ̀ǹpútà ní Ọlábísí Ọ̀nàbànjọ University Àgọ́ Ìwòye Nàìjíríà. Èmi náà máa wà ń bẹ̀. Ẹ wá darapọ̀ mọ́ wa.
Women in AI Global Summit järjestetään syyskuun 8. päivä digitaalisesti, tuoden yhteen tekoälyasiantuntijoita ympäri maailmaa.
Mic, and you can actually share what did you face, what challenges you faced during the data analysis and everything. All right. his experience and the challenges they faced throughout interpreting and controlling the situation during this pandemic period. So I think I faced that thing as well because I guess there was quite a lot of data set, and the data set that I picked was from the epidemic folder, if I'm not mistaken, in MOH GitHub, and the data set name was ICU. So I was literally analyzing the ICU data set, and I think we had around 15 attributes inside there, if I'm not mistaken. There's attribute for the name, the date, and I guess how many ICU beds were allocated earlier, and how many beds in ICU were allocated for COVID-19 patients, and also the ventilators, data related to ventilators, how many ventilators were there, how many ventilators were used, how many ventilators were used by COVID-19 patients, and how many ventilators are still available, and all kind of things. So basically, when I analyzed the data, I could I was facing a really hard time because there's a lot of stuff that has to be cleaned in that data set. We had a lot of missing data in I think the last two attributes. I don't remember the name of the attributes. We had, I think, about 20 to 30 missing values in the last two attributes. So literally, as a data scientist or as a CS student who actually plays around with data, you need to be aware of missing data beforehand. You do the analyzing process lah. So when I was doing the data analysis and visualization earlier, I literally overlooked the data cleaning process and identifying missing data process. So I was literally facing a lot of issues later on when I tried to emphasize some machine learning models to predict, example like linear regression and maybe random forest or maybe Gaussian naive bias. Now, I realized that I do this a lot. So the mistake again, and I learned from my mistake that if you want to be a data analyst, in order to reach your time in actually analyzing the data and visualizing the data in graph something. So that's what I learned in this datathon, and this is my third datathon that I'm actually putting myself into. So this is a very good experience for me as well. I had a very good time analyzing the data that were given by our community team that were allocated for us. And the data were actually amazing, and it was telling a lot of stories to us. I hope you guys realize that as well. We literally got to know patients are actually increasing day by day, COVID-19 patients, and how many patients are actually not admitted in the hospital. You see, because of lack of beds in hospital, lack of facilities like ventilators and so much of stuff. So we could actually picture this right now when we analyze the data. So imagine how would the real situation would be. So it's really terrifying to actually visualize even the situation where COVID-19 pandemic is actually affecting us to the core. See group time like me, analyzing the data and doing networking with your teammates. I saw a lot of people from students from overseas, and I saw master students, and I saw even people who are working involve themselves in this datathon. So I hope experience in this working field, in computer science related field or the data analytics field. I hope you had a great input from them lah. You got a great input from them, like maybe how the real working situation or real working experience would be in the future, and how do you actually work under pressure, and how do you actually finish up something, or finish up an assignment or a work that was given for you in the proper time frame. Yeah, I hope you guys learned all of that from your teammates. Yeah. Oh yes, Mr. Azhar. He's still here. Okay.
Yes, I'm still here. It's a good observation, Krishna. To be honest, I I appreciate your comments just now. So basically, what you just explained just now is echoing, is it?
No, no, no.
My side is echoing. Okay. Anyways, what you explained just now is basically partial of what I've gone through for the first 100 days during the MCO. And in our case today is basically in a few hours to solve a datathon. In our case last time is a matter of life and death of a person.
Correct,
So
correct.
the pressure is pretty much more than what you're experiencing today.
I understand. I understand.
And but to be honest, what I maybe I miss sharing just in the more session morning session just now is more towards like the sensitivity of data, information of data. Because okay, if anyone notice the data that's shared in the GitHub, there are daily changes throughout the day, especially when the actual dev is being produced.
Okay.
Because from 11, 12, 13, 14, the data of dev has changed, especially for the past more than 1 month.
All right. Okay.
So
Okay.
imagine mapping that against the line listing that have the actual death, some death details of those taking vaccines. The complete ones, the first dose, the second dose.
Yeah.
Those are the things that's actually partially observing right now.
Okay. Mr. Azhar, I have a question.
Yes.
Just now you said this data from GitHub is constantly changing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do they actually update the data set, the existing data set?
To be honest, I would like to find more details because I observed that they upload between 2 a.m. 3 a.m. in the morning every day for the past few days. My interest is because of when remember that when it now being shared, the following day the death was about 500 something. Remember?
Yeah.
And their justification is because of the backlog. Now that
Okay. Backlog data.
because the reasoning given was actual death is recorded there after the critical process. Is different from the reported ones. So in my thoughts, those columns should not be changed that much.
Okay.
However, from day to day, I observe that the data for the past at least 40 plus days. Every day. So basically, that intuition was like, okay, if what for 1 week is okay, because normally it should change gradually. But if for the past 2 months the daily change is consistently, that kind of just mean, okay, what process is, what constitutes the changes of the details of that.
Okay. All right.
See, there's a lot of, if you see the data, for example, yesterday net death was 463 death,
Right.
and the reason they gave that 400 is because of the backlog since May. If one observes based on the numbers of the COVID, actually, yesterday death last time when we were in a survey, even when one death is already 50 for us. Three digits a day.
Yeah.
On the eve of Raya last time, on Eve Raya this year, I kind of literally died because thinking of last year, there's not so much death, but this 3 digits a day. I'm not sure if I'm in the team. I'm still in the team. I cannot take it. To be honest, when we heard that even a single digit of death, we were like disappointed because we feel like we failed. Now it's like question that made me cry, and that's why still got me, browsing the data. To be honest, I don't want to browse the data anymore.
Okay. Mr. Azam, I have another question though. Some people they don't know what is backlog data. Can you like explain what is the meaning of backlog data?
Okay, my understanding of the backlog is because of the clinical. I understand the explanation given by CRC, basically because of when the death happens, they need to do autopsy, they need to do the clinical. So for me, it's normal. It's what I can accept. But the question that lingers in my mind is, what can be done to prevent death cases? For example, if anyone follows my FB posting, when the AKM decided for the category 1 and category 2 to be self-isolated at home, that actually kind of troubling for me because for variant like Delta variant, the impact can be changed with few hours, even diagnosed as first category. And that is because of, you see, when you are self-isolated at home, you are not monitored by the experts. And secondly, how fast KKM can respond to the event of emergency. That's trouble. That's why I don't really agree in terms of changing the KPI from daily cases to hospitalization cases. And looking at this pattern, I believe that you will see that the pattern change after the KPI change. Because of before this, category 1 and category 2 still hospitalized.
Okay.
But at one point, the data changed. That's why hospitalization looks like reducing. Because Cat 1 and Cat 2 no longer in the data.
Okay. No coherence basically.
You see, there's a difference of that. So that's why I'm quite concerned of the broad index cases. And hence why I've been monitoring also before this the division between complete doses, not complete doses, and not vaccinated declared the date before this. We have that infographic, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now since introduction of now those kind of information is no longer relevant.
Okay.
So that's how I maybe because my exposure of the previous job that needs me question those data because I'm used to expose to a more detailed data of that.
I get it.
That's one. And because of also one of my teams also involved in digitalizing COVID data.
Mm-hmm.
If one can remember back in May, there was a press conference declared digitalize data of COVID patients and also the cost of test panel. So that was one of the team that under my care working with MOH. So I can that's why my view is much here and there from the COVID, from the contact tracing, the Grab Malaysia. Of course, I cannot share detail because some of the data that we handle is pretty much private and confidential because we work with DRM, ATM, and some of it involve of personal detail. But that's why for me, if you go through the data in GitHub, those questions arise when you explore the data, like you said just now.
Yeah, how these datas like these datas are very raw datas, right? Get
It's
in a
not
very
raw.
like you get in a very big amount of data. How do these data actually collected? Like how many ICU beds are available right now? How many people are already vaccinated? Like how
Okay.
long does it take? What is the time frame basically?
Okay, that's the interesting part because I'm analyzing the death data using the line listing because okay, we are kind of having kind of questions over what is happening in Sarawak because Sarawak is pretty much one of the states that highly vaccinated, but currently it's
Still high
differently
cases.
happening from what is happening in Labuan. Because remember, narrative used by KKM is highly vaccinated good, which is they use the Labuan case. And they partially used Sarawak before, but now they are not really talking about Sarawak.
Yeah.
So for
Okay.
me, to be honest, that's my worry because you see the Delta and the variants after Delta is something that different from the previous variants. And in addressing that requires some preparation. And that's why in the forum yesterday I raised about moving forward. Yes, we live with COVID, but do employers willing to let staff MC for 14 days because of COVID? That's one. Secondly, how does your job is taking care of your colleague while you are an MC for 14 days? Those things. Because
that $1 billion question.
because okay, I believe that yes, somehow already live with the COVID cases, but I believe that we are more comfortable to live with a new daily cases that is low compared to 5 digits now.
Yeah.
That's the difference. That's the difference between living with 5 digits and 2 digits. Or even one.
Correct in a way actually.
So that's why I do give you the KPI change. But then again, I'm just a Mahayan, sharing my opinion. Because what is this? Once you see the KPI, tendency of you we are trying to living in a comfort zone and being complacent.
Okay.
You see? Because 4,000 pieces a day nationwide is different connotation on 5 digits a day.
1 digit lesser.
That's the reason why I still view this data, because I'm doing something for some businesses. So for me, I'm still taking this data as partially of how to advise my clients. To be honest, even given the choice, I wouldn't want to view this data anymore for COVID. But moving forward, I need to know, because in order for me to consult my clients, I need to advise on people. Hence why I observe this data, but I put on back burner lah, not my main duty lah. This kind of before I sleep, I go through the data.
Okay, I think our top list participants are ready to pitch now.
Oh, all right. Okay. So thank you, Mr. Azham. That was a wonderful insight, actually. All right. So our participants are actually waiting in line. Our top 5 finalists pitch their presentation. Just hang on a second. All right. So without further ado, let's invite our first team for the pitching session today. Okay. The first team would be Team Data Aficionado. Members are Zahida binti Muhammad Abdul Roshin, Anis Suraya binti Mat Najri, and Izzati Ilyas. Please welcome. Team Data Aficionado, are you there?
Yes, one sec.
Right. Okay.
Office dan sebagainya kan. So these are also yang members of UTeM can take advantage of lah. Kalau syarah kalau dia efektif, dia boleh design dengan
Anis, are you there?
Yes, I am here, but I can't share this. I think I cannot share the slide.
Oh, guys, can you let them share the screen?
Hi, I am Faruza Amira.
Hi, I'm Gita.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Sharifah Sakinah Si Ahmad.
Hi,
Hi, I'm Khalida Jassi.
Hi, Assalamualaikum.
Your dashboard. So you may start now.
Okay. Are you guys ready?
Sure.
Anis?
Go ahead. Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Okay. Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Team Data Aficionado. So for today's Datathon, we'll be presenting our dashboard. Okay, next. Next slide. Did you click the next slide? Okay. So without further ado, I'll introduce my team members. So first we have Anis Suhaira, who is currently a master's student in math at University Malaysia Pahang. And then we have Zahida Roshin, which is myself, currently a student pursuing in Bachelor's of Computer Science in University Science Islam Malaysia. And lastly, we have Izzati Ilyas, who is currently an engineer at Niaset. Okay, next. So a bit overview about the COVID-19. The COVID-19 was first detected in Malaysia on 25th January 2020. And the first Malaysian with confirmed case with COVID-19 was found during 4th February 2020. And in order to prevent the COVID-19 cases from being rapidly increasing, the movement control order was implemented on the 18th March to control the spread of the virus. The Ministry of Health has imposed a few measures such as MCO and vaccine programs in Malaysia to tackle this issue. So the report of this dashboard describes the vaccination progress in Malaysia from the obtained datasets. Next. So the problem statement is to analyze the national COVID-19 immunization program datasets provided to get insights and present the findings that can be obtained, which could optimize the benefit the national COVID-19 immunization program. Okay, so now I will pass this. I will pass to Anis.
Okay. So, Assalamualaikum and good evening. So our group decided we use two software, which is the first one is Power BI and the second one is Tableau. So both of them has quite different sites. So let me share this. So I first will share you what we have done in the Power BI. So here, as we can see, the first one is I made this matrix box so that we can see that the highest number of vaccination have done by the state is basically Selangor. And since this is the capitals of Malaysia, and basically they have more populations and more population compared to other states with a more compact. So and then the least one is this one. Okay, and then followed by Wilayah Persatuan Kuala Lumpur and Sarawak and Johor. And here the vaccination progress is quite high. Starting from the March 2021 until right now here, so September. So if you can see that it show a slower rate, but however this is due to we only reach in the middle of the month of September. So maybe if we could reach if we can put the data more until the end of September, so we would have a different kind of plot. But the populations for the second dose, the comparison between the total population between each states. So basically, the population in Selangor state, there is a higher number of percentage in Selangor that receive the second dose and the first dose, but there is much more difference, a lot of difference between the first dose and the second dose, the completed dose. So maybe this one is the person, there is a waiting period between the first dose and the second dose. So that's all from the Power BI part. So next we will continue into the part where we use Tableau software. So I will start first. This one. Okay. So the next one will be presented in Tableau, where we include the customized calculation, which is the rate of vaccination per state by using this formula, which is the number of vaccinated over population. So I will pass this to my next member, Izati. So the stage is yours.
Hi, can you guys see my screen now?
Yes, you can see it.
Hello. All right. Sorry, give me a second. Okay. So if you see my screen, okay. This is basically Tableau. It's basically we just took the data set from the vaccination and also population. So on the left side here, basically we just plotted out the population, the vaccination, the number of vaccinated people, and the population. So basically from that, we calculated a vaccination rate, which is basically just the number of vaccinated people over the total of population. And then from the mapping itself, we can see that the highest rate is actually in Selangor here, wilayah persekutuan. But the rate is 2.974, which is actually more than 1, which actually gives us an observation that something's not right with the data. So it could be because the value or the column that we took, which is the vaccinated number there, is actually maybe like people who took already 2 doses. So that's why we see more than the population. So it's an interesting observation, but at the same time, it actually provides us an insight that we have to look into the data itself, because it's actually our first time getting into this datathon. So a bit nervous, but we try to get what we can. So from there on, we just plotted, it's quite simple. We just plotted out because the problem statement is actually, we want to know what's the vaccination rate and what can actually be done. So we want to see like the demographic, like we can see here, this is like the urban, so it has a high vaccination rate. But if you can see some places in the rural areas, the vaccination rate is actually a bit lower, less than 1, this is Sabah, less than 1. Johor is around 1. Over here, Kedah, it's 0.975. So basically what we can see here, the rural areas, the vaccination rate is quite slow. And from there on, we have an insight. It could be because they are orang kampung. So basically, they may not be quite knowledgeable in technology, or maybe they have issues in registration for vaccination. So we may need to put more efforts in educating them. We actually put some improvements inside our slide. Yeah. And then from here on, this graph basically just shows the number of new cases and the cumulative vaccinated. So basically, it's not the axes are not what do you call that? It's loading. This is W public, so basically it's depending on the internet connection. So you can see that the number of vaccinated is increasing, and the cases new is increasing, but then it's going down basically. And then this is just a plot of the new cases versus the recovered cases. So we can see that new cases are rising, and then it's going down around September, and then recovered cases are going up. So basically this information here, it's quite interesting because we can see that starting in August, or actually end of July, when KJ started to roll out the walk-in administration of vaccine, we can see a high increase in vaccination rate. But at the moment, from the data, we can see that the Pfizer vaccine is the highest, followed by Sinovac, Astra, and CanSino. I think that's a new one. So September data, since it's just up to 14th September, so we don't have enough data for that. So it's still in progress. So yeah, that's basically what we see from the data. Handing over back to you, Zaida, for the what we can see from the data and the improvements and stuff. Let me try to stop sharing. Give me a second.
Okay, so these are the things that can be done in order to increase the rate of vaccination administration. So the first thing is the vaccination rates at the suburbs are lower than the urban areas. This could be caused by firstly the unawareness of vaccination importance to Malaysians. And secondly is the elderly people or people at the suburbs that are not up to date with the technology, and they may have issues in registering for the vaccination programs. So community leaders may need to put in more effort to educate and help them register to arrange the transportation and also arrange the transportations. So second is the government can help out by ensuring that the internet access is available at the vaccination centers, as this is crucial for updating vaccination progress in the MySejahtera app. And thirdly is to give out goodies as an intensive for getting vaccination for those, because who doesn't like free food? This will help to increase their desires for vaccination. Okay, next. Next slide. Okay. So in conclusion, there are more insights that can be gained from the data source that were made available. So let's say if we have gender, family, median, income, and employment status, we could gain more insights from that. If telco data, career data, weather data, or e-commerce data were made available, we could make more meaningful interpretation of the data and the relations of the COVID data, as we would understand more on why the questions of why the number of vaccination administration were not increasing as fastly as we intended to be. So we hope for more variety of data to become available in the future, so we can perhaps gain more insights from that. And then again, if we have if we possesses all these data and we provide these suggestions and improvements, if no actions were taken, then we would still be in the same stage. So we are hoping for the best for Malaysia. And with that, I would like to end our presentation, and thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Team Data Aficionado, for your wonderful pitching. Okay, now I open the floor to the judge. If you have any comments on their pitching, you can now give your comments.
Okay,
but make it short.
Yes,
make it
hello.
short.
Fairoza here. Okay, so can the presenter open up the slides back again? Okay, I think I think it's very nice actually you use the Tableau and Power BI, but I want to ask one question. Why you didn't use one platform instead of going to the two platforms at one time? Interesting, that one.
Because actually, the three of us, we are a quite beginner, and
Okay.
so one of the member already know about Tableau, and two of us we know about Power BI. So we just like at the first place we just discuss what we're gonna do, what kind of analysis we're gonna make, and then we make a decision that okay, the one who know a little bit about Power BI could do on the Power BI analysis, and then the one who know about Tableau, maybe we can do that so that we could maybe we could share what kind of insight both of the three of us could share.
Okay,
So
good.
that is the
Yeah,
main reason actually.
understand. Okay, so can you open up the Power BI back again? Open up the Power BI. Okay. Okay, I'm very interested to know why do you choose this graph, the vaccination by states graph? Because you have like pie charts, all sorts of charts, but instead you use this kind of square charts, you know.
Oh,
What
this
is the
is
meaning of this chart actually? Because I think it's quite difficult to see if you don't have the, you know, this kind of like interactive items inside, you know, if you just publish this Power BI as a PDF, maybe people couldn't see clearly what do you want to actually try to say about this data. Because not all people actually can access to a Power BI free. So maybe it's like much better if you build a graph, you know, like how KKM do, right? KKM is doing the infographic graph that everyone can understand easily. Even though I know here that Azham doesn't really like KKM graph. but but this is the way actually when you do the data visualization, I think. So may I ask what is the reason you use this chart?
oh, this chart is like basically it's more colorful, and then is we can see right away which states are much has much more higher percentage, much more higher portions in compared to other states. So this is one of the main reason I choose this.
Why not just go to pie chart, bar chart? It's not really that easy to understand like this. And then I think you also have like Selangor second dose, first dose, and then like KL first dose, second dose. I think like instead of using each country different color, will be much better like one color for first dose and another color for second dose, and then maybe you can divide into states. That one will be much easy to understand. I think like later Encik Azham will you know, maybe comment a lot on this. Okay, this is my first comment. Okay, and then can you scroll down? Okay, this one is I think quite easy to understand lah for me. It's like you can actually can see lah how much, you know, how much the progress it is and how much is the second dose per dose total population. I think it's very impressive. You can do it like within 3 to 4 hours. Very, very nice. So basically what is the conclusion that you can get from here is like very few people get second dose. Can I see complete second dose 18 million, complete second dose again another 22 million? What is the meaning of this box actually?
This is actually the daily cumulative of the one who received the second dose and the first dose. You know, this is like typo error. This one is the 80 million is the first dose. I think there is a problem with in the data actually.
Oh, there is a problem with the data.
I mean no, I mean like no, I mean it's not that the problem. I mean like the when I make this one, there is a problem that it the actually because I am we are like very beginner in Power BI, so the number that come out right here is quite weird. So so that is the thing actually.
Yeah, I think like maybe when you do this kind of box, you should understand why do you write complete second dose 18 million, 20 million? This is very confusing lah. Why at the bottom you have 20 million and at the top you have 18 million? So actually I'm quite using Power BI a lot as well. Means like you can also do the filtering by state and also can do filtering by date. It's okay like when you have time you can try to learn about this. Yeah, it's quite interesting, but these two boxes is very confusing. Okay, I think let's go to the tableau. Tableau. Okay. I think Cik Azhar want to comment a lot. I will keep my comment short to give way to him.
This is not my page, it's theirs.
It's okay lah, Cik Azhar. I know you always comment KKM graph, right? So this is the platform for you to comment out everyone lah. But don't be so afraid of it. Cik Azhar, he's not going to comment you guys so much lah. He knows you did it within 2-3 hours. Okay, open up the tableau, please.
As long as we can learn more.
Yes, that's the main reason. This is a very nice tableau. I would say it's very nice, but there is the observation sites that no one want to read it. Means like try to use a very short sentence lah, not to use this kind of like a lot of sentence. That one is like it's a very nice chart, but then you have the observation part, which is I think can make it shorter. So we have new cases versus recovered cases, right? And I really like the vaccination rate per state actually. But the font are very small, make it bigger one thing. And then you have population vaccinated and vaccination rate. I think no need to write population and vaccinated, just write vaccination rate because eventually vaccination rate is the amount of vaccinated divided by population, right? People will definitely know lah. Means like you can put in your observation place like what is the formula you use. That one thing. And then for the vaccination type, it's very interesting lah to see, right? Very few people. I think the green one is Pfizer, right? The Pfizer is the green one, right? Oh, exact. That one. Pfizer is the green one. Wait. Green, yellow, and brown lah, that one. What is the meaning?
It's the lowest one is basically I think it's from the sizes, like this is CanSino, this is Pfizer, and this is Sinovac because it's a top, what do you call that? It's a stacked bar chart, right? So the highest one, this is actually Pfizer. So this is CanSino, and this one is Sinovac. Yeah, maybe I didn't put a legend there, so maybe I should put that. That would be better.
And then, I think like yours also like even new cases versus cumulated vaccinated also, or you do two graph, okay lah, that one. New cases versus recovered case. It's a very nice lah insight graph. I think your tableau is done very well lah, except for the observation part. Sorry about that. Okay. So in conclusion, what do you think government should do for this when they see your dashboard?
Basically, from here, they can actually see like they've already focused on Selangor or they're already focused on Lembah Kelang, right? So they have to focus on the less colored one. Yeah, like Johor, Sarawak as well, and this one, Perak. Yeah, the less colored ones. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why Johor still in phase 1. I'm in Johor currently. I'm quite upset because I'm still in phase 1. Okay, very nice. Yeah, I think that's all from me. Azhar, you can take the list to comment.
Okay, I think it's a good effort for the first time of using Power BI and Tableau. So to be honest, I'm not really going to comment on the aesthetic of things, on the coloring, so on not. But my point is, my comments basically is on the interpretation of data that you have. Okay, for example, I think in the Power BI, can we go back to the Power BI? Okay, this one. To be honest, I'm not really comment on the color that you choose because I know this is by default that you may have not the chance to edit why the color is pink, why the color is blue, so or not, which is okay, fine. But I think can go to the okay now. The second dose one, the third. Okay, if you can see this one, the button. Okay, I noticed that food is the axis there as 0.4 billion. Now, you notice something wrong with it. Okay, the reason this chart looks a little bit awkward is because of sepatutnya you minus first dose dengan second dose to see the remaining. That's why your findings you nampak macam jauh lagi. Sebenarnya gap jauh dah. Emang ada satu one period somewhere along the line in July, June, July, early August, where the gap between first dose and second dose is quite huge. But because of the Greater Klang Valley Task Force, dia reduce. Dia dah reduce. Sebab dulu dia try to ramaikan first dose, then baru kita second dose. Dia tak, the strategy first from the early part of the vaccine programs. So bila you main letak je dulu, that's why you rasa jauh. Sebenarnya tak. Faham tak?
Faham.
Sepatutnya tolak second first dose. You can see how many the first dose that has not received their second dose. That's why I cannot explain the interpretation of data tu tarik sikit lah. Then you can compare satu to population, and actually for me I compare with the registered, because one, register ni lah yang sedang menunggu giliran, yang dah lama yang banyak komplain sebab awal tak dapat. And that actually kind of one of the factors why people are hesitant to register for vaccination, sebab ada yang dapat lagi, yang dah register tapi tak dapat lagi. Okay, I think it's more effort ada. I think more interpretation of data, because I think technically tersilap in terms of the data accordingly, be it Power BI ataupun. Secondly is the issue structure. Itu je. That's my comment for this presentation. Because maybe you are not aware of certain initiative taken, so that's why your elaboration on the graph and the data tu ada lain sikit lah. That's the comment for me lah. Okay?
Okay,
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the feedback. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Azham and Ms. Fairuza. So let's, before that, one second. Right. So thank you for Team Data Aficionado. Thank you, Zahida, Anis, and Izzati for your wonderful teaching. So let's move on to our next team, which is Group 5, which consists of Tan Xiao Xuan and Imam Wahyu Amanullah. Please welcome, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Actually, me and Xian, we are just on this. We haven't made our presentation yet. Can we just show our dashboard then? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Hi, I am Faruza Amira.
Hi, I'm Gita.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Sharifah Sakina Ahmad.
Hi, I'm Khalija Jassi.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. I am Nur Intan Raihana Ruhayim.
Hello everyone, I am Nurzarin Zulkarnain.
Assalamualaikum and hi, I am Hamira Hania Abdurrahman.
Hi, my name is Farisana Binti Hamza.
Hi, my name is Nurul Akila.
I am currently a data scientist at ST Microelectronics and Chief Operating Officer at Ever AI Technologies.
I'm also the founder of startup Jenga.
Currently, I'm Associate Professor in the Department of Intelligent Computing and Analytics, UTeM.
I'm also a statistician at UTeM.
I am currently a Senior Lecturer at the School of
To present, Xiao.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Can you show the dashboard, Xiao? Can you change to the view mode? This is the edit mode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Alright, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Imam Wahyu Amanullah. I'm master student at University Technical Malaysia Malacca, and I'm in under program of Master of Computer Science in Software Engineering. And my other teammate is Tan Xiao Xuan. Can you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Tan Xiao Xuan. I'm an incoming second year student studying maths with statistics at Imperial College London. This is my first time participating in a datathon, and this is my first time using Google Data Studio as well.
Okay. As you guys can see, our dashboard is straightforward. We didn't put much graph or plot in our dashboard because I'm software engineering, and basically when I have a job to create a dashboard, I took a few months to create a dashboard which connects to database and collect data themselves. But in this datathon, we need to create a dashboard in less than 24 hours, which is I was really confused. How do we do this? And we this morning, me and Xiao watched a YouTube tutorial about this Google Data Studio. So basically, in the given time, the 3 hour given time, we are watching YouTube tutorials and do as best as we can to provide the dashboard. So this is our dashboard. Basically, the header part, we can see the total cases, total recovery, total death, total cases, and total case. This is the summary of the current condition of Malaysia. So basically, when the stakeholders look at this dashboard, they'll know, oh, this is the condition today. So the next part below that, we have death picker. We created a map. So this datathon, the objective is we need to optimize the vaccination program, right? So we think about that, and we think what the means of optimization is. We distribute the vaccine. Where should we distribute the vaccine? So in that case, we should distribute the vaccine based on the the severity of the COVID-19 in each stage of Malaysia. So therefore, we created a few uh, maps here. The first one, the total case. This is the total case. Showed the basically just which state have the most case, and then uh, the good part about our dashboard is we can just see we can see from the maps that Selangor have the highest total case, and also we can see if we want to compare it with other state, we can just compare it with the pie chart, using the pie chart. And then the next is we show the total recover. So the total recover just the same is the same. This is uh, the total uh, the total people that have recovered from COVID-19. And then next, the total death. This is shows where which states have the most death because of the COVID. And the last one, this is the active cases. So basically, I was I was assuming that the data is updated every day. So basically, this graph will change, and based on this last map, we can see that uh, previously Selangor has the highest 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 case, but now we can see that in terms of active cases, Sarawak have higher number. So therefore, we are suggesting the government to focus the vaccination program uh, on Sarawak. That and we can since this dashboard is updated every day, we can change the uh, which state we should focus on vaccination first every day too. That and then the second page maybe Xiao can describe.
These are few plots that we tried to make during the few hours time. So the first plot is type of vaccine versus state. So yeah, I didn't put in a legend. Yeah, but for this plot, it's Pfizer. The number of people using Pfizer, the number of people using AZAC, number of people using Sinovac and CanSino. Yeah, and then it shows that CanSino is the least used vaccine. Yeah, so this plot will show the number of vaccines used in each state. So some improvements that could be made would be showing the percentage of each vaccine used at each state would be more representable data instead of using the total number. Yeah, so the next graph is the bar chart about cumulative full vaccine and partial vaccine versus state. So it shows that Penang has almost like more than 300% fully vaccinated and 400 almost 400% partially vaccinated. This value is gotten by dividing the cumulative value over the population value. This shows that maybe people from other states came to Penang to vaccinate because it shows more than its population value. Yeah. Next is the type of registration used for people to register vaccine. So 95% registered for vaccine using My Sejahtera, and a small amount of 5% registered through web. Yeah. The number of people who registered through call is too little that it can't be shown on the donut chart. And next is the distribution of registration. This shows the percentage of people who registered for vaccine. This isn't a very representative chart as well, because it should be better to show like percentage of adults registering for vaccine out of the total number of adults to get a more representative chart. Yeah. Next is number of fully vaccinated versus state. So Selangor has a quick increase in the trend of the number of fully vaccinated compared to the other states. And then this chart is not really representative also. I should have used a percentage of number of fully vaccinated over the population in that state. So the last chart will be about trend of vaccination. This shows the trend of number of full vaccinations in Malaysia. The trend shows that it has been decreasing, which could represent more people have been fully vaccinated. Yeah. We had very little time to prepare this, and we couldn't like explore like the relationship between transmission and vaccination, death versus vaccination, hospital admission versus vaccination, or ICU rate versus vaccination. But if I have time, I will try to explore more on this. Thank you.
So thank you, Xiao and Imam, for your wonderful teaching. So Dr. Siti, do you have any comments to give?
Okay. Okay, thank you for the presentation. Okay, for the first page, okay, the first my impression, I very happy with the map and the indication. But now for in your map, is you're not too interactive. Means here you only have, I don't know, because is it the why you show only the blue color here in the map?
It's only blue because I don't know how to change it actually. I was afraid I could mess up the dashboard. That's why actually. It would be better if we change the color in the map with the color on the pie chart. Yes, maybe something.
Yeah. I'm quite happy because you give the first line with the descriptive numbers. Okay. So that's good before we go to the visualize our data. And for the page 2, if can you show the page 2? Yes, there are a lot of the visualization, but again, I feel some the visualization or the graph not suitable with the data. For example, the second versus state. I'm not sure what is why the percentage like this. For me, it's not help a lot to understand this. Okay, and also the last graph. Can you show the last graph? Yes, the trend of the vaccination. I feel this not. Maybe you can choose another graph because when you show the trend, the vaccination, it seems that um, it's decreasing. Supposedly it's must show that this is the best is this one is cumulative, I think. All right. Okay. And I want to know, okay, from this particular of the visualization, so what that insight that you can get from this visualization? Okay, can you answer this?
You first, Yang.
Do you mean for the last plot, is it?
Okay, maybe you, maybe you can answer why you choose the first the second graph, the first line in the second graph. Okay, right side. Okay, this one.
Do you mean this graph?
Yes.
The values are gotten by dividing cumulative full vaccination divided by the population at that certain state. So I wanted to show like how the percentage of like the population being like fully vaccinated or partially vaccinated, but it turns out like there's some with like more than like almost 400% or 100%. So I think there might be like some errors in the formula I use.
Okay. Okay. My last question. What the insight that you can get from this all of the visualization? Okay.
Okay. First of all, we are trying to
Until 4:50 for this team. So if you have any comments, please keep it until 4:50, or otherwise we'll move on to the next team. Thank you. So do you have any comments, Mr. Azham or Ms. Faiza?
Okay, let me share in the brief because we have about 2 minutes. Okay,
Sure.
I think this team was okay. Good effort again. But I believe that this team challenges is similar to the first one, whereby your interpretation of data. Because when you highlight that Sarawak want to have more vaccination, don't you know that even against registered, they are already more than 90% vaccinated against registered. So I believe this is where maybe perhaps you don't realize it. You don't realize it that actually Sarawak is one of the highest that be vaccinated. And the challenge that's why it's mentioned in this press conference for the past few days, the challenge of Sarawak is actually more to Delta variant. Hence why it's very challenging to justify vaccination program against those anti-vaxxers. Okay, that's my general comment lah, basically. And plus, I think of the visualization, the axis use more than 100%. I think that based on the comparison axis. That's for me.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Thank you, Mr. Azhar. So I think we will move on to the next team. So before that, thank you again, Xiao and Imam, for your pitching. So the next finalist would be Group 7, which consists of Lee, Lok, and Nurul Izzah. So please welcome, guys. You can begin your pitching right now.
Okay, hi, can everyone hear my voice?
Yes, bro, clear.
Okay, sure. Let me share my screen. Okay, let me know if you guys can see my screen because this is my first time using Microsoft Teams.
Yes, we can view your screen.
Okay, without further ado, I will start. So, hi everyone, we are Group 7. Today we joined this UTeM Datathon 2021. And before I start to present about our idea, our solution, maybe let me introduce our team. So, hi everyone, I'm Lee Zian. I'm the team leader of Group 7. And this is our team member, Izzah. Hello.
Hi everyone, I'm Izzah.
Hi everyone, my name is Ricky.
Yeah, so this is our first time joining a Datathon and also the first time that we try to use Tableau to download a dashboard. Okay, so the problem statement of this Datathon is that we need to explore how can we optimize the vaccination rate through the power of data and AI. So after we get this question, we start to think about what is the reason, what is the thing that stop us from achieving the higher vaccination rate. Then before we do that, we realize that we need to look at the herd immunity standard set by the World Health Organization rate. So according to our research, we found that actually the best vaccination rate to achieve a herd immunity suggested by WHO is actually 90%. 70% is just a minimum requirement, and 80% is just taking the median value, and the 90% is the best value that we can create a powerful herd immunity. But if you look at the current registration, the vaccine registration rate in Malaysia, we found that actually there's only 70% of our citizens registered, and still there's roughly 30% of our citizens not yet registered for the vaccination program. So actually, we found that actually this is kind of very sad. So then we start to think about what is the reason stopping for people. And this is also our main focus in this Datathon. Then we start to do research and we found that actually there are quite many common reasons. Like for example, there are people, they are keep on waiting for another vaccine. They are trying to wait for a better vaccine because they always think that the vaccine shouldn't be that fast to get to finish development. And they also easy to believe on the fake rumors that we can find on the Facebook, WhatsApp. And the third one is also same as the first one. They lack of trust in the current vaccine that we have, and they are afraid of the vaccine side effects because there are news, there are irresponsible media that try to use a clickbait, try to use misunderstanding sentences to stress on how the vaccine bring death or serious side effect to the person who take the vaccine. And the fifth one is that some people they even not treat COVID-19 as a real threat. They think that this is just some conspiracy Okay, but we know that we need data to prove this. That's why we decide to conduct a social media analytics. And for our dashboard for today, we only focus on Twitter. But we realize that it's kind of, due to the time constraint, it's impossible for us to go and scrap the real Twitters, real tweets made by Malaysian. So instead, we go to the Kaggle and get a Pfizer vaccine tweets data set. After we get the data set, the first thing we do is try to perform a sentiment analysis, and this technique is known as the weather sentiment analysis, which focus on the every word, focus on analyze the sentiment of every word inside every single tweet. After we perform the sentiment analysis, we will get a column of value that show the sentiment of each tweets. And then after we get the sentiment of the tweets, we start to compute the percentage of the tweets based on the sentiment. So as you can see here, there's 16% of tweets that's negative, there's a negative sentiment. After that, we get the sentiment of each tweet. We start to discover what is the common word in the positive tweets, what is the common word in the negative tweets. So now, let me present to you the dashboard that we created. So first of all, we try to analyze, we try to understand what is the total population of Malaysian, and we found that there's roughly 33 million Malaysian in Malaysia right now, and only 73% of them are registered for the vaccine program. Wow, that is roughly 27% of them are not really registered for the vaccination program. So from there, we start to look into our tweets data set. So in our tweets data set, there's roughly 10,000 rows of data. And from that 10,000 rows of data, we get to find that the positive tweets has a portion of 43%. The neutral tweets have a portion of 40%. And lastly, there's a 16% of tweets has shown a negative sentiment. From there, we start to focus on what is the common discussion topic mentioned in the Twitter. So we can see that most of the tweets are still focusing on discussing the vaccine. And then from there, most of the tweets that has a sentiment, that has a positive sentiment, we can see a high number of keywords like great, approve, grateful, thanks, and feeling good, etc. But if we look at the negative tweets, we can find some words like reaction, allergic, die, serious, severe, death. So from here we can see that actually a large percentage of people are still worried about the side effect of that can bring by the vaccine, or they are still worried that they don't have enough confidence in the current vaccine that we have. So I think this is something we can look into. And this is a dashboard that compile everything that we have. I've shown you just now. But we know that we shouldn't only talk about the cost. We talk about the causes, talk about what is the thing that is causing the vaccination program to be not that good. We should also provide suggestion at the same time. So our suggestion on that is issue. Okay, sorry. So we need to tackle from the problem straight from the root cause. And from the workup that we analyzed just now, we know that there are three main root cause. First is that there are people they concern of the side effect of the vaccine. Second is that there is misinformation on the vaccine. And lastly, they worry about the safetiness of the vaccine. So that we should share key messages from the trusted channels, from the trusted media, and we need to try to stop from other irresponsible media spreading some fake news or confusing message on the social media. And then we need to educate people on the vaccine development. We need to let them believe that our technology has advanced a lot, so we can develop a full vaccine in a shorter amount of time. And the third one is that we should encourage our friends, everyone should encourage their friends, family, the people around us to take vaccine, because this is a way that we can optimize the bandwagon effect. lastly is that we should remove the practical barrier to immunization. The practical barrier means it is a physical barrier that stopping from people from taking vaccine. Maybe they have a transport issue. Maybe they are having difficulty to access to the vaccine facility. Maybe the vaccine facility is too far from their home, from their location. Okay, then our last two recommendation is that we should think about how we talk about vaccines. Because in my friends, in my family, there are a lot of people, they think vaccine as a dangerous thing after they see news. But actually, we should trust the science, research and development made by scientists. And then we need to present the vaccination as a new social norm, so that everyone, again, this use optimizing the bandwagon effect that we mentioned just now. We need to present the vaccination as a social norm for everyone, so that everyone can treat vaccination as a normal thing to do, and not a thing that's so special. That's all from us. But before I end my presentation, feel free to access my Taboo dashboard from here, and also my sentiment analysis Python code.
Thank you so much, Coach Selvin. That was a really cool teaching. So now I open the floor to the judges to comment about anything. And you have time until 5:10. Thank you.
Silakan judges lain juga.
Yes, sorry.
Okay, I think let me start the ball rolling first. Okay, first, I think this is one of the unique proposition compared to the presentation that we have today. Interesting, well done. Only I think comment one is on the interpretation of the proposition against vaccination. Okay, I think the one part that you miss is actually when you assume that the 26% not yet registered is inclusive of those under 18. According to the so basically, this is perhaps the follow up from this interpretation slightly off. Okay.
Yeah, I understand.
There's a two type of population. One is the total population, which is the 33 million, which is that how you get 70%. But again, it's a good number, but what it's good to have compare against total adult. This is the narrative KKM because they target above 80 plus. Okay, and I believe all the three things that you should learn is one, KKM use blossom data as comparisons, even by states. Hence why when you try to analyze against Selangor, KL, Putrajaya, Sarawak, you can see even Sabah, the total vaccinated against population more than 1%. That's the reason of one, I'm not saying it's more to most not awesome. That's the reason why. And that's why we can initially have some challenges justifying the numbers for Selangor KL, whereby as Kelang, because some of those under Dosita Selangor actually living in KL. So there's a Christmas in Kelang. That's one of the reasons why I believe all found to justify the numbers of it's not your formula.
Yeah.
Fair. It's different. It's coming from Dosita. That's why you find something awkward when you found that first is more than 100%. That's why for me, the way around is I also compare against the registered one. That's why I see the common interpretation of these three teams saying that some do more vaccination. Whereby Sarawak has quite registered already. and then that like I'm going to comments lah. One part that I must want here is the interpretation. But here is this. From Pfizer taker is pretty much does than the Malaysia scenario. Whereby you took from Pfizer is Sinovac and Sinovac kind of like that's kind of a skewed findings lah, which I applaud it, but I didn't find it very scale. And plus, if you can remember that in the vaccine delivery, the first amount that completed the order is Sinovac. So dia dah that much. Pfizer punya kemudian. So the comments tu ada according to a little bit of that. Is for me, I applaud, but the findings tu I dah mata lah. Okay, good.
Thank you.
I leave the rest of the judges.
Thank you for the comment.
Thank you.
Yes, I agree with Encik Azham about the Twitter data. Okay, this is very good. Actually, we know from our from the people in the social media platform about our vaccination. But again, as we our team is optimizing the vaccination. Of course, I think we should give more information. For example, about the death and give based on the state. So because Malaysian always when looking for the organization, they want to know what happened in the surrounding, what happened in our state, why. So that is very good if you make it more information, more visualization in your dashboard. But congratulations, you managed to have the sentiment, right? Sentiment from this data presentation. Okay, that's all for me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Azham and Dr. Siti for the comments. So, without further ado, let's move on to the next participant or next group.
Thank you for the judges.
Yes. Before that, thank you, Group 7, Lee, Ricky, and Nurul Izzah for the wonderful pitching. So, next up is Group 10. So, Group 10 consists of Amira, Ruhi, and Sasha. So, guys, we can now start your pitching. Group 10, are you there? Hello. Guys, is anyone there?
Minggu depan adalah hari yang penting buatku. Tapi, alah aku lambat.
Masuk cepat.
Aku akan buktikan pada semua orang program aku yang terhebat.
Giliran awak, Hakim. Hakim, jumpa saya di office. Saya nak awak siapkan projek awak. Now. Habiskan.
Only, okay. My group has 3 members, Shasha, Amira, and Ruhi. So we want to observe the vaccination rate versus new cases by state. So we can see here descriptive data, total registered vaccine, total vaccine, total new cases, total cases recovered. So when we see here total vaccine registered based on state, Selangor, of course Selangor has the highest vaccine registered, because when we look at the cases also high. So we want to reduce the cases, right? So the map. We also create a map for total vaccine daily by state. So Selangor will be here. Okay. Selangor is daily total vaccine 7 million. 7 million. Okay. Betul lah. 7 million total vaccination in Selangor. So I think there is lack of info here. We should add more, but we don't have much time to relate the data, as we are also a beginner in this data visualization. In this.
Tak apa, boleh nampak sebab map tu lagi.
Alamak, dia lari lah pula. Sekejap
Tak apa, proceed yang lain. Don't worry about the map.
Okay. So only this we create the dashboard, our dashboard about vaccine and new cases. I think that's all.
That's all, is it?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So thank you, Group 10, for your presentation. So I I now open the floor to judges to give any critiques that you feel like giving. Thank you.
Doktor jalan dulu tak apa.
Okay, okay, thank you for the dashboard. Okay, at the first, I feel okay. You have the descriptive number here, and also information based on the state. But in that particular of the number, it's very difficult to read because you don't provide us the maybe with the better unit lah. For example, the million or the thousand in your descriptive numbers. And then as our purpose is to optimize, right? To optimize our vaccination. So I think it's not only give the rate, okay, the rate only the rate, but you need to also show the another, as I said previous presentation, another information, so that we can show, because this is dashboard for public. So with that particular of the information, we can attract the people that did not register yet, so they can register, for example, perhaps. Okay, so there is supposedly in your dashboard. Okay, I think that's all for me.
Okay, for me pula, satu, I think I concur with doktor just now about the kenalah nampak million ke thousand tu kan, sebab susah nak baca. But again, because of that, I deep dive tengok juga your number. I think you main total semua je ni. Sebab kalau tengok total vaccination tu is 39 million dose yang telah diberi. But do bear in mind, dia ada first dose, second dose tau. Dan cuma CanSino sahaja yang need one dose for now in Malaysia. So bayangkan kalau Johnson & Johnson masuk, nanti lagi pening lah. That's one. And for the total registered vaccine also, I think kalau tengok nombor tu berapa sebenarnya? 41 million tak?
400.
Total registered vaccine tu? 412 million.
412 million.
Logik ke tak logik?
Tak.
Okay, so that's why benda-benda macam ni, bayangkan kalau KKM yang pakai, this is for all bahayanya bila, I know that we as a data professional, kita bila kita buat analisis tu, kita tak suka ada koma-koma tu ke kan, atau titik tunggulan, I know, but when it comes to visualization, presentation, you also need to understand the audience when we see the data, and sometimes it also good for us to have some checking, nombor tu betul ke tidak, masuk akal ke tidak, because macam contoh bila macam tadi Selangor tu kan, yes, Selangor have 7 million vaccination that already administered, but that is first dose plus second dose. So kalau nak tengok di sudut tu, dia akan jadi lari sikit lah. Faham tak? Dari segi interpretation of data. So this is why sometimes that people just simply, even in public, in general, that bila dia tengok tu, dia jadi macam pelik, dan hairan on what I try to say. This is the trap of kalau tak interpret data tu properly. Of course, visualization, okay, I think for today, I think so far semua first time pakai all this platform. Tak apa, that's why I cut some slack lah. But that's why I'm looking into the interpretation of data, how you read the data. That's why I'm perasan first dose campur second dose 19 satu register tak tengok properly, susunan data tu, data schema tu. So I think kat situ lah, effort tu ada, but this is something that next time be careful, sebab benda-benda macam ni lah yang menjadikan Decision maker akan rasa pelik dan macam mana dia decide. That's for me. Thank you.
So we need to look at the data properly lah.
Susun betul-betul. Sebenarnya patut first datang explore dulu. Explore dulu data tu. Masuk akal ke tidak bila dah masuk visual tu?
Yeah.
Takkan dah total registered 412 million kot. Weh.
Yeah. We just masukkan je, tak analyze
Yes.
pun.
Okay, macam ni. Benda ni common. To be honest, this is not the first time I'm seeing this. That's why I kind of easily spot benda ni. Dan tambah pula bila tak ada koma-koma tu lagilah I tengok dan ni confirm main total je. Kan dia tak ada pre-processing sikit pun. Okay? Be careful on that. That's for me lah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. So that's a very huge number, and it's very nice to see that huge number. Thank you so much, Group 10, for your teaching, and thank you, juries. So that's all. We are actually reaching the end of the event for today. Thank you for the 5 teams who have pitched until now. Thank you. Thank you to all the teams that participated today. Thank you for all the teams that has participated today. Very grateful to have you all on board. The challenge wasn't all that easy due to the time constraint. I think you just had 4 hours maybe, less 4 and less hour than that lah. But everyone pulled off really great. Yep.
Sorry to interrupt. There's actually one more team we missed out.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, the final team.
Oh, okay.
Dia sebut 5 tu macam pelik, bukan berempat dia.
Okay, sorry. Let me start one group. All right. Okay. So sorry for the inconvenience. I saw the group 1. I thought it's coming back again from the top. So I'm so sorry. So the next finalists would be group 1. Nur Afika, Priti Mahizan, and Limuni. So guys, you can pitch your dashboard right now. Thank you.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Hello, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
All right.
Proceed.
Okay. Hi and Assalamualaikum again. So I am from group 1. I am Nur Afika Binti Mahizan. So I have just finished my 6 months of internship, which is also my last sem. And my other team member is Lim Wenni, who is also a third year student in UTeM taking AI. Oh, by the way, I'm taking database. So currently I am involved in data, but not data visualization and data analysis. So let me straight away show the database, the dashboard. Sorry, cannot move on. Okay, so this is the dashboard. We decided to use Power BI and Google Data Studio. So this is the dashboard for Power BI, created by Lim Wen Ni. unfortunately, Limani cannot attend this event. So
I'm here.
okay, hi. Did you want to present your dashboard?
Sure.
Please.
But you should wait me to open my dashboard first.
I have opened it. Can you see? So you just represent right away.
Wait a minute.
Okay. So should I stop presenting? You are going to present using my screen or your screen? Evening.
There are 2 million for the cumulative new cases and 4,662 for cumulative import cases, 2 million for cumulative recover cases, and 22,000 for cumulative new death cases. All right, we look at the first bar chart. The first chart is admitted and discharged hospital by state. In this chart, Selangor shows that there are 765 admitted hospital due to COVID-19. Maybe Afika, you can share screen for the report dashboard.
Oh, you cannot see my screen?
Because you cannot get interactive with the chart. I cannot see the details. Or maybe you can let me share screen.
Oh, okay. I'll stop presenting.
Everybody being here, made it without missing your flights. It was in 2 cases very close, but yeah, I'm really proud of you. It was so hard to getting everybody from all around the world.
Women in AI is a platform where women...
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Okay, you can see the chart.
Yes.
All right. You can see the Selangor is show that 72765, right? And the Selangor this is a admitted COVID-19 patient. Then this is a discharge from the hospital for the COVID-19 patient. So it get the 63656. So the Sarawak is more worse compared to the other state. because it show that sorry the quantity of emitted. Oh, sorry, I make the wrong explanation. The Selangor is a most worse condition compared to other state because it has a most emitted COVID quantities compared to other state, and is more than the quantity of emitted more than quantity of discharge. For the donut chart, for this chart, we can see the workplace is the majority reason for forming a COVID-19 cluster and followed by community. So that we need to follow the SOP seriously in order to avoid to form a cluster. So you can see the majority is workplace, a community, then this is a detention center and others category. And this map is shows the state new cases and the import cases followed by the state in Malaysia. So we go to page 2. Malaysia has quarantine centers bed. Malaysia has 9 million quarantine center beds. This is the quarantine center by state. This is a PCR test and RTK-AG. RTK-AG is a rapid test kits. PCR is a test more detailed one, more expensive one. So this is the chart shows that Malaysia has 60 million PCR tests and Malaysia also has 12 million RTK tests. And this is the ventilation ratio in Malaysia. So here can see ventilation is this is a ventilation for ICU, the yellow color one. So 14.95% for ventilation is for ICU COVID patients, and 1.56% for non-COVID-19 patients use. Here is this chart is ventilation used by state in Malaysia. Then this is a ICU bed ratio in Malaysia. ICU bed is used for COVID-19 is 25.97 in whole Malaysia. This is a ICU bed used by state. That's all my presentation. Thank you. Afika?
Yes. Can you see my screen?
Sure.
Okay. So this is the dashboard that use Google Data Studio for COVID-19 vaccination information. So this is some brief information about cumulative registered and cumulative vaccinated individual. So saya nak minta izin untuk gunakan bahasa Melayu ya. Okay. Jadi vaccination maksudnya rojak. Vaccination statistik by state saya rasa sangat penting kalau kita dapat compare berapa yang telah diregister dengan berapa yang telah divaksin. So kat sini kita boleh nampak efficiency of pusat vaksin itu sendiri. Seterusnya adalah view untuk by state untuk tengok partial vaccinated and fully vaccinated. Saya gunakan percentage, saya gunakan dalam bentuk percentage untuk nampak ratio dia. Berbanding kalau kita nak compare dengan bilangan, dia akan nampak kita mungkin tak boleh dapat ukur dia punya ukuran measurement. Jadi yang melebihi, saya rasa mungkin population ni tak updated or something. I don't know. Mungkin tak ambil kira foreigner sekali ke. Jadi mungkin sebab tu percentage dia melebihi 100%. Okay. Seterusnya adalah vaksin, jenis-jenis vaksin yang diterima dan diberikan kepada rakyat-rakyat Malaysia. Sini kita nampak Sinovac, Pfizer, AstraZeneca and CanSino. Kat sini pula ada control features di mana kalau macam kita nak compare certain state, contoh critical state seperti Selangor, wilayah Persekutuan, Johor, Kedah, then ia akan paparkan only critical punya state. Kat sini adalah user interaction, maksudnya dashboard tu akan paparkan based on user need. Memang kalau boleh kita nak tengok the overall picture, but sometimes ada requirement daripada pihak atasan untuk view certain data saja. For the second page, registration method, which MySejahtera, website and call. So from this chart, kita boleh nampak dia rakyat Malaysia prefer untuk gunakan platform apa untuk register vaksin. So untuk top management buat better decision making, so daripada sini kita boleh nampak contoh kita ada macam allocation lebih untuk kita improve platform registration. So dia akan nampak rakyat Malaysia prefer MySejahtera untuk registration. So kat allocation tu kita boleh salurkan kepada platform MySejahtera. Sama juga untuk type registered individual. So, kena ada comorbidity, elderly, children and OKU. Sama juga macam contoh kat sini kita nampak comorbidity adalah peratus yang paling tinggi. Jadi pihak-pihak komiti yang menguruskan vaksin ni perlu fokus lebih kepada kumpulan-kumpulan ni dan juga any special need yang diperlukan. I think that's all.
Right. So thank you, Group 1. Thank you, Group 1, for the wonderful teaching. So now I open the floor to judges to comment on their presentation.
Let me comment, I think. Wait. Okay. I'm back again. Sorry, because I have a meeting just now. Okay, it's a very nice dashboard actually. You even have the filter and you managed to do it within 3-4 hours lah. I think it's a very nice thing. And then you have an insights also, how many people registered and how many people vaccinated. Meaning like we know already lah, like actually we have a lot of people registered and vaccinated. Wait, I didn't really understand your graph here. Wait, you have registered in Johor like 200 million. Oh, I think this one, if you do in one graph, not using two graph, it will be much better. Because you have two axes, right? I think one axis is enough. Because when you have two axes, it can be misleading. Like I see when I didn't see your graph properly, I would say like, if we have so many people vaccinated compared to the registered one. Wow, this is a very misleading information. So I think this part maybe can avoid using two graph, two axes, and then this is very nice. I think so many people is using Sinovac, Pfizer, and then we can map lah. I think okay, this is good. Okay, I think you have another page, right? Not only
Yeah.
using Studio, yes.
Oh, the other one. This one?
Yes, this one. This one is very simple. I like it. Very quite easy to understand. Cumulative record cases, cumulative new death cases. One is 2 million and one is 22K. I think maybe rather than put it side by side, I think the cumulative record, I think because some people don't really understand what is 2M and 22K. Like put the number is much better compared to using M and K. Okay. And then, and also cumulative new cases and recovered cases is almost the same. Okay, quite okay, good. Admitted COVID, discharged COVID. Oh, in Sarawak, how come admitted COVID is lower than the discharged COVID? Oh, meaning like the people admitted and people discharged. Oh, interesting. It's a very nice chart for this one. I think I don't really have any comment on this lah. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, hi, Azham here.
Yeah.
I think again, ini pun ada challenge in terms of interpretation of data. Macam yang tadi pun yang masih dekat Google Data Studio tu tadi, kenapa vaccinated tu tinggi is because you combine both first dose and second dose. Hence why you have more vaccination than registered. That explains. But again, the part that I think I find it nak kata funny tu, maaf lah kalau kata the lack of better word lah. Yang bawah tu interpretation you better than atas. Yang masih bila go by state tu you asyikkan partially vaccinated and full vaccinated, which is good. But atas in total kat atas tu dia tiba-tiba dia terkucil sikit, which I think that's why you, kalau orang tengok chart atas dengan chart bawah, dia mungkin akan confuse. Sebab atas tu you totalkan first dose, second dose. Bawah tu you pecahkan. So that's why masa Dr. Farizah tengok tadi, dia nampak macam kenapa vaccinated daripada registered. That's the reason why, because how you put the data into visual. And then on the Power BI punya platform tu pun high level, and I agree with Dr. Farizah in terms of putting the numbers. Yang kat sini for me in simple terms, actually I think you dump some of the data without really properly understanding it, because macam tadi registration yang MySejahtera tadi tu semua tu, ini in total in general, because macam contoh bila registration tadi, even in cluster you tak check balik bila you totalkan cluster tu sama tak balik dengan daily cases. Sebenarnya tak sama. Some of the data yang dalam GitHub tu sebenarnya bila by cluster tu dia tak total sama balik dengan total daily cases, which is I think I can understand lah kenapa yang dulu YB Azmin Ali dia katakan cluster from kilang tu rendah, sebab kalau nak ambil number alone dalam tu memang dia rendah. Yang kat sini I believe that ramai yang terlepas pandang, which is a common view yang terlepas pandang lah. That's why you if you totalkan balik nanti you takkan sama dapat balik macam total daily cases. Okay. Yang sini pula macam ni, cumulative cases, you masuk import, recovered, death cases. Now, kalau dari segi tengok 2 million tolak 2 million, sepatutnya kosong lah. Betul tak? Kalau pandang dari sudut layman.
Logiknya.
Kita dah free ke? Sebab recovery. So kat sini again, it is good if kalau ada total recovery case macam yang KKM try to present. Of course, ini idea dia ada. It's just I think it's a bit here and there lah dari segi storytelling part. Information ada. Data, that's why I gunakan term data dumping. Because you kurang faham apa yang data yang campak dalam dashboard ni. Faham tak?
Betul.
So dari segi data processing tu, dia pre-processing tu ada kurang sikit lah. That's why penceritaan tu kurang sebab you kurang faham data apa yang ada. That's why cluster tu kalau masuk dalam cluster punya chart pun, you keluarkan tapi you without really understand kenapa data tu, kalau seriously kalau you totalkan balik tak sama. Okay, sama juga dengan registration tadi. Dia kat situ I believe ramai yang terlepas pandang. That's why one of the things that wrong interpretation data. That's why for this, to be honest, for the 5 presentation that we have today, I have to look more into interpretation sebab I believe that semua elaboration yang semua team bagi is based on apa yang you letak dalam dashboard, which is your best effort. That's why I tengok pada interpretation, sebab kalau tengok visual dari segi color code semua tu dah cerita lain lah. That's why your elaboration semua ada agak lari sikit dari sudut data yang dapat dan bila you terjemahkan. Macam itulah. Sebab macam ni contoh kenapa nak letak import cases? Mana local cases? Mungkin orang akan tanya di sudut tu lah. Adakah 2 million plus 4,662 atau macam mana? Those kind of things lah. It's more to, it's a good effort, but with better understanding of data, I believe semua team lah, ini not just team 5 you have a better understanding of what to put into your dashboard. Sebab beza dia bila dashboard ni dengan PowerPoint adalah PowerPoint you can put slide 1 nak cerita apa, slide 2 nak cerita apa, slide 3 nak cerita apa. Tapi bila dashboard, dia macam satu canvas that you let people interpret by their own definition without you can really guide them on what to tell. That's the unique part of dashboard. Okay, that's coming from me lah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Again, saya tak kata semua negatif. Semua team presented dengan baik. I know you are trying your best and I believe some of you, many of you are the first time. Semua tadi cakap first time masuk Datathon, first time pakai all these tools. That's why I cut some slack on that lah. And I hope my comments are taken into positive mode rather than negative, or on constructive rather than destructive, because this is for your future punya development lah. Good effort, adaptation to the new tool, good. It's just, that's why I look into data interpretation. Okay, thank you.
Right. Thank you again, Group 1. Thank you, juries, to give their respective comments today. So, thank you for all the teams that has participated today. Very grateful to have you all on board. The challenge wasn't all that easy due to the time constraint, but everyone pulled off great. Congratulations to every single one of you. Don't forget to stay tuned for the winning teams that will be announced on Friday at 10:30 a.m. on live during closing ceremony. And thank you for the judges for joining us and giving your constructive criticism criticism to all the teams. Since most of them are first-timers, like how Mr. Azham said, I'm sure they learn a lot of new things through this challenge. So, before we disperse, I would like to ask all the participants and the judges and everyone to turn on your camera. We're gonna have a video photography session. Okay, so I think you can go for a snap right now. So just count from 1 to 3. Just smile, okay? 1, 2, and 3. Again, 1, 2, and 3. All right. Thank you, everyone. And another thing, judges, please note to join the breakout room to finalize the decisions after this. And yeah, thank you for all the participants. Thank you, everyone, for joining us in this datathon today. So I'll see you again, and don't forget to stay tuned on Friday, 10:30 a.m. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Nama saya Muhammad Aidil bin Akyar. Saya adalah alumni Universiti Teknikal Malaysia Melaka dan merupakan graduan pada tahun 2010 dalam jurusan Control, Instrumentation and Automation Engineering di Fakulti Kejuruteraan Elektrik. Di sini bermula dengan 3 orang, iaitu saya, Safwan dan Syukri.
Hai, nama saya Ahmad Safwan Nizam Kamarudin, berasal daripada JT Besut. Aidil adalah seorang tulang belakang utama yang memang sentiasa follow saya masuk ke event-event, angkat barang, tolong saya selesaikan masalah yang kecil-kecil.
Apabila saya sudah habis belajar, saya dapat bekerja dalam bidang kejuruteraan.
Mungkin dalam DYD ni sendiri dia dah ada entrepreneurship punya soul. Bila dah kerja almost berapa bulan, dia telefon saya, cakap aku tak boleh lah nak kerja. So I cakap dekat dia, cakap kalau tak boleh nak kerja boleh, tapi kena balik kampung lah, duduk dengan aku menjahit.
Bila berhenti kerja, saya terus tukar passion ni untuk buat jeans. Broadena House bermula dengan kerja alteration seluar jeans. Pada masa sama, kami berminat untuk mengeluarkan jenama jeans kami sendiri. Ianya tercetus apabila saya membeli majalah fashion dari Jepun yang mana di dalamnya mengandungi maklumat cara-cara menghasilkan seluar jeans.
Aidil ni dia sudah ada satu pengetahuan yang besar dalam fashion itu sendiri. Aidil sebenarnya dia kolektor kepada majalah-majalah fashion daripada Jepun. So Aidil dia sangat suka dengan eccentric punya fashion.
Jadi disitulah titik permulaan kami dalam menghasilkan jeans kami sendiri sehingga hari ini. kami bermula dengan membeli 4 jenis mesin jahit terpakai buatan Jepun dan USA. Mesin-mesin ini dikategori sebagai vintage dengan bernilai sekitar 10 hingga 30 ribu untuk sebuah mesin. Sehingga kini kami memiliki sebanyak 20 mesin bertaraf industri dan setiap mesin mempunyai fungsi yang berbeza-beza. Rajin kami 100% buatan tangan, 100% buatan Malaysia. Di sini kami memanggil tukang jahit sebagai artisan. Sebabnya kami ingin memartabatkan kerjaya tukang jahit sebagai kerjaya profesional. Dalam masa 4 tahun berada di UTeM, saya mempelajari banyak ilmu dalam bidang kejuruteraan dan mendapat pendedahan dalam keesahanan. Dengan teknologi dan skill yang kami ada, kami berharap dapat mencipta kelainan sekaligus mampu bersaing dengan produk-produk antarabangsa.
Bagi saya, perjalanan ideal daripada seorang yang belajar dalam bidang engineering terjun kepada bidang fashion sebenarnya bukanlah sesuatu yang 360 degree punya perubahan, no. Muhammad ideal ni sebenarnya adalah tuah kepada UTeM itu sendiri.
Sebagai tuah UTeM, saya berbangga kerana pernah mendapat naik juara dalam projek Inspireku di bawah SSN. Hari ini saya berbangga hasil kerja tangan saya telah menembusi pasaran antarabangsa. Sebagai anak Malaysia, saya berbangga kerana dapat mengharumkan nama Malaysia di peringkat antarabangsa. Saran untuk siswa di UTeM, masa depan tak menjanjikan harapan yang tinggi. Jadi terus manfaatkan ilmu yang diperolehi untuk diri sendiri dan masyarakat.
UTeM sangat beruntung kerana mempunyai seorang graduate seperti Aidil. Bagi saya, seorang yang sangat cekal bersama-sama saya mengharungi dunia keusahawanan yang sangat bercabar. Dan juga kepada bakal graduasi UTeM supaya ramai lagi usahawan yang bakal dilahirkan oleh UTeM pada masa hadapan.
Untuk mencapai cita-cita, ia memerlukan pengorbanan yang amat besar dan kesabaran yang tinggi.